I believe that I was put on this earth to make a difference in the world. So when I leave here, that this world should be a little better place for me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the real state of Black America. I'm your host, Terrence Alton Cox III. On this show, we view things from a broader sense. We look at things from a different perspective, and sometimes we just rip that Band-Aid off. Now, we've got an exciting show today. This is a RSOBA trending topics. These are shows that we pick out that are trending in America, and we give a thought, a commentary on them. Now, once again, let's jump right into this. The basketball player by the name of John Morant, young man, talented. If he does not change his way, he will be dead. Period. Now, this young man has been investigated 3 to 4 times within the last year. Criminal investigation. He is a young man that brandished the gun at a strip club. This is the same young man that took a laser gun and pointed it at a group of people. Then he comes back on Instagram and brandishing, showing off a gun. What kind of person raised a human being like this? Let's talk about it all. What kind of world do we live in? This young man's mother was at a finish line, sneaker, buying some kind of sneaker shoestrings. Whatever took place in that place of business, she calls her young son. He's already been in trouble 3 or 4 times. She calls me and said that someone has disrespected her. So, he rolls up there with 8 of his street boys. Now, that could have been a problem. There's several different ways in which he could have handled that. He could have went up there, hey, I'm a celebrity, let me sign a basketball. What happened? Let's squash it and move it on. Second thing could have taken place, one of his boys could have pulled out a gun and shot somebody in that building. Third thing could have taken place, somebody in that building could have had a gun and shot him, the mother, or one of the 7, 8 people. Now, what kind of parenting are we doing these days? This is sad. I'm looking down because I'm looking at my notes. The accountability must not be all placed on this young kid. It must be placed upon the parent. This is how it works in the animal kingdom. The hippopotamus, mom and dad teaches the young hippopotamus, don't go over there on that side of the lake because that's where the sun doesn't dry the mud. If you stand in that mud, you drown. The baboon, mom and daddy tells their son, the sweet fruit that you like, do not climb that tree because that tree has thorns on it. If you get pricked with one of those thorns, you get deadly sick. So you wait till the fruit falls to the ground. The giraffe mom and dad tells the giraffe, you have long legs, so that wobble tree there the roots of that tree cannot support your legs, so then you break your leg. That's what parents do. Parents do not put themselves in a situation to call their child to bring them into the middle of that mud next to the thorn and next to that tree. That's sad. You mean to tell me in his and her, the family, the mother and father family, not one person has enough sense to sit this boy down and say, wait a minute, son, you got a 60-month contract to make $425 million. All you got to do is be calm. So out of 425, what you do is you take $50 million and blow it. but leave the remainder of that money for generations and generations of our bloodline. You mean to tell me there's not an uncle, a grandmother, or a grandfather with enough sense to say, young man, straighten your act out. This is the game plan. And you wonder why other cultures around the world think that black people are stupid. They think that we're foolish. They never look at the good janitor who worked hard every day for 30 years to send his kids to school because he's not in the newspaper. They don't look at the bus driver who was there for 27 years before he retired, paid his house off, paid his wife's car off, and will live a simple but a good life. So you have all nations all over the world laughing at black people again because of this one kid, but I blame not just the kid, I blame the parent. Now, if the baboon is smart enough to understand to teach their kids, don't go there, how is it that those mother and father don't understand this? If the hippopotamus tells their kid, don't go there, what is it that the parents are missing here? The rapper Ja Rule said something. He said this young man is absolutely being poorly influenced by the world of hip hop. We did this to our own people, black people. We did this. Pat Beverly, he blames today's rap culture for the behavior of this young basketball player. This is all intertwined into the foolishness. Now, Fat Joe said something that everybody just laughed all over the world. The daddy got so drunk the other night at an NBA game, they had to carry him out and lay him in the car. And you wonder why this kid has a temperament that he has. It's hard to imagine that nowhere in his family blood does anyone have enough sense to tell this kid, play ball for 60 months, get the $425 million, set this family up for life. All of this brandishing guns on Instagram, I blame the parents. All of this pulling out a laser gun, brandishing it, I blame the parents. In a strip club pulling out a gun, I blame the parents. Your mama calling you in the midst of a thorn bush, in the midst of a lake with mud, or in the midst of something that's going to break your leg, I blame the parent. She could have got that boy killed. It would have been a wonderful documentary for Netflix. A couple of days ago, some Instagrams of this young kid from 10 years ago. This is what the young kid was saying 10 years ago. If cuz disrespect me, I'll black his eye. At 10, 11 years old. On Instagram, I be schooling these niggas. Where are the parents at? I'm on this kush and alcohol. Well, where is the mama and daddy in all this? This is on Instagram for the world to see at 10, 11 years old. The guy says, I'm as high as F. Let me say that again. This is what a young man says. At 10, 11, 12 years old, I'm high as F. Then he makes a statement on Instagram, I can make cocaine. Now, the father name is T, the mother name is Jamie. They have to be, and they must bear responsibility for creating a human being like this. Where were they at? Where were the parenting skills at? Where was the church? Where was the Bible? Where was the value? Where was the character building in all of this? Your son's 10, 11, 12 years old talking about he can make cocaine. He's high as F. And you didn't address the issue. That's the reason other cultures around the country, when they look at black people in America, they only see the high-end blacks. They don't see an ordinary black like me, somebody love their wife, love their kids, hard worker. They don't see the good preacher with a small church around that's doing something in the community. This is a global disgrace to black people in America, how this kid's acting. But he's not going to be around. As one cop said, You can't stay in the midst of a gun on either side of it sooner or later and not get shot or shoot somebody, go to jail or be dead. Those are statistics. Now, when Ja Rule made that statement that he's been poorly influenced by the hip-hop culture, he's absolutely correct. I'm not a big sports person, but when I look back and I watched him all the way when he hits the point, all that dance and hip-hop stuff, throwing the signs up, slap-ass buffoonery. But he's going to pay for it. But the worst thing about it is it makes black people look bad. When Pat said that his behaviors directly reflected to this hip-hop culture, it is. Where are the parents? Where are the grandparents? Sir, your son is in the midst of all this mess, and you go to NBA game and get sloppy drunk, where they have to carry you out and get you in the car. But that's one reason why your child is acting the way that he's acting, because of your behavior. Because of your behavior. And for a mother bear to call your cub into the middle of a hornet's nest, in what world does that make any sense? This is the real state of black America. This is a trending topic. You two parents should be ashamed of yourself for creating a young man that acts like this with all the opportunity. This is the real state of black America. Now, if the baboon and the giraffe and the hippopotamus can teach their child some values and character, how is it humanly possible for you to raise a kid like this with the character, the morals that he has and the values that he has, and you run around driving brand new cars, getting your hair done, getting your nails done? You run around buying Rolex watch and suits, sir, and this is a reflection on you. People are laughing at you. What kind of mother or father raised that kid? Well, where are the grandparents? You mean there's not an uncle or aunt around that knows anything about money? You know, I was talking to a police officer. We were talking about this. He says he will not live for 2 more years if he continues this path. I said, well, you can't say that. He said, this is how it works. He's already had 4 fractions with the investigations about guns. So a gun's a funny thing. You either shoot or you get shot. You either shoot somebody and go to jail or somebody die. So if he continues this, if he has 4 or 5 of these a year, he will either be in jail or he will be dead. And that's sad. See, this is the real state of black America. Nobody wants to sit back and pull a Band-Aid off the conversation. Parenting. Who am I to judge? That's awful parenting. Even when the guy came back and said his half-ass apology. The only thing he was doing when he was sitting there bent over, slump over, I'm going to do better. The only thing he wasn't doing was twisting his hair. What should have taken place from the parent, the daddy should have put on a suit, should have put a suit on that son of his, the mother should put on a nice church dress, get rid of them long nails and tighten that hair up and say, this is my family. I'm the father to this household. I take full responsibility for my child. My wife, his mother, my son are going to do better. I know that we caused the black community worldwide a bad image, and for that I apologize. You young kids, do better than what you've seen this family do. That's how you put a period on this. Grown man getting drunk at NBA. Mother calling your son in the midst of nonsense like this. And then you're blessed. There's only a few people going to make 400 plus million in 60 months. It takes 84 months, 86 months to pay off a car. This is the real state of black America. And I'm your host, Terrence Alton Cox III. Be kind to somebody.